Hi, welcome to Sonic Sunday School. This week we're going to be looking at legato technique. Most of you know that a legato technique is where you do not pick every note. Some people will just pick one note per string, or just pick the first note. If you can mute through that, you can get. But you have to have the strength in your fingers to be able to do it. That's why it's important to exercise those fingers and strengthen them so you can do, legato technique. As we have, as I've shown you in the past, this exercise. Just pick the first note of every string. I'll often use a combination of legato and staccato, or picking every note. So I don't usually just use one technique or the other. But you definitely want to have the strength in your hands to be able to play without even using a pick. A lot of guitarists will have, for either legato or tapping passages, they have like a hair tie or some sort of something to deaden the strings up here. And I don't use or have anything like that. So I've been trying to think of something I could use to demonstrate, but I don't have that tool. So a lot of people will just pick the first note of every string, and I've done 3 notes per string like we've done with the major scale. I'm not specifically showing you licks, I'm just showing you the technique so you can put your own licks together, and here's that. And here's an alternate way to use that same type of technique, but you're not running the notes in a linear fashion. Sometimes you'll have to use a technique where you're not picking at all, and you're basically starting the legato run by just hammering on the first note. And here's a little video of that. Okay, so that's one of the trickier ways to do it. It is a lot easier just to pick notes in the legato run. A lot of people will, like I said, use something to dampen the strings, or just use their hand to dampen the strings. You can absolutely deaden the strings. No picking at all. But if you do that, it does make it a little harder to mute the strings if you don't have something up here like your hand or one of those hair ties, because otherwise you get a lot of extraneous noise. Here you've got some of that extra. And yeah, so you have to be careful not to let other strings bleed through. That's why when you are doing legato techniques, you want to use the same mutings ideas that you use when you're playing. A lot of times the thicker strings, you're going to be using this hand to mute, and some of the higher strings, you're going to be using your fretting hand to mute, so they don't make noises while the notes you want to be heard are being played. Alright, so that's a beginning look at legato technique. I may expand on this later. I'm not sure. I'm still working on some videos on some other topics. But yeah, I may expand on this, on maybe some of the exercises, or maybe even put some licks together and give you a starting point. But I really wanted to just show the technique today and introduce you to that if you're not already familiar with it. Alright? Thanks. And until next time, keep playing.